So oftentimes what happens, people will buy a piece of paper because they think it's really cool. And then they go ahead and they start to draw on it and they get really excited, and their lead maybe is not going down in the way that they'd hoped. You know, this one's kind of skipping around. It feels like there's wax on the paper, so I don't like it. So I come over here and I start to erase and I'm like, ah! Look at this, all this stuff is peeling up for the paper. So they've made a decision about a paper that's maybe not the best decision, or they've made a decision about a paper based on what they liked about the paper from their first visual, but not actually tried it out. So in the following videos and stills, I'm gonna try to help you kind of narrow down what paper is actually gonna work for the drawing project that you're going to do. So stick with me for the next few minutes and we'll see if we can't sort that out. Oftentimes when you buy paper, you'll see these designations, like this one says 75 pound. And if you're looking at watercolor, you'll see something like this where it says 140 pound. A good weight for drawing paper starts at 80 to 90 pounds, and a good weight for watercolor paper starts at about 140 pounds to 300 pound. The higher the pound, the heavier the paper is going to be. So you want a heavy drawing paper and painting paper. That heavy paper is tougher and is less likely to fall apart when you're drawing or painting. Over time, paper made from wood pulp becomes yellow and brittle and eventually kind of falls apart. So when you look for good drawing paper or painting paper, look for something that says cotton or cotton rag or acid free. Your paper will last longer and not yellow over time. So this is very important. You heard me correctly. I said paper tooth. In the following image, there is a rougher tooth to the paper. A rough tooth is a more textured paper surface. So you can see me shading here with a pencil on a rougher textured surface, and this is usually for a softer medium such as charcoal or pastel. Because they're soft, they need more grooves to stick onto, and so often a textured paper works really well for these types of mediums. Here's an example of a smooth tooth on the paper. Oftentimes people use a smooth-toothed paper or a smooth textured paper when they're drawing in graphite pencil or in colored pencil, or even when they're doing ink drawings, as it's less absorbent and more likely to allow the ink to sit on the surface rather than to bloom out. One note about watercolor paper or illustration paper, if you choose to use that to draw with ink. If you choose a cold press paper, it's going to have a rougher texture. And if you choose a hot press paper, it's going to have a much smoother texture. So it depends on what you really want.